I'm going to Kansas City. If I come, I come, I come, I come. I'm going to Kansas.
All right, welcome everybody to the latest, the freshest episode of Choppin It Up with the Cleavers. My name is Emmanuel Cleaver III.
And I'm Emil Cleaver.
Check us out every Tuesday. We drop a new episode. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Choppin It Up with the Cleavers. Check it out. Check us out wherever you get your podcast. So a lot has been going on this past week. Constant.
We can't even
stuff.
talk about all of it.
It's hard. You have to talk, have a few. But of course, the Buffalo shooting, mass shooting, craziness, and it's targeted toward black people. And I was reading an article on online NPR that said there have been 198 mass shootings in the United States just this year.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Buffalo shooting.
Yeah.
A white kid, pretty much. He's a kid.
Yeah, he's a kid.
Drove, I don't know how many miles.
Long way.
Hours.
Long way.
After he had done the research for trying to find an area where he could target the most black people. So he drove this way, went into a grocery store, started shooting black people. 10 black people killed. I think
some others injured.
Others injured. But yeah, he targeted black people.
Yeah. So, okay, what you got to say?
Yeah, he was targeting black people.
All right, those are the facts.
Yeah, we're not
so
even.
Then what? So that's what I'm saying to you. So then what?
So then this.
No, your thoughts.
So no, I mean, we got to finish telling the story. So he goes in there and he murders these black people, these innocent black people. They're just trying to get food for the night and have fun. But this racist, evil human being decided to do this. The police come. There was a 911 operator who hung up on somebody calling because they were whispering.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that? Yeah, the 911 operator, somebody was calling for help and they were whispering.
They're trained. Yeah, you would expect people to call whispering.
But yeah, let me stay on topic.
Yeah.
So the police come and they give him a massage. They give this killer, this murderer, this devil a massage, and they make sure give him a little acupuncture because make sure his trigger finger is fine. I think they took him to Red Lobster. They took him out there. They
hooked him up.
Took care of him.
Hooked him up.
This armed white racist devil.
But they brought him in alive.
Yeah, not one scratch.
No problems.
Not one scratch on this man. Not on this boy.
None.
But
it should have been the same people that stomped out Dave Chappelle's attacker that got this man.
Man.
I mean, if somebody ever needed, just to be, anyway.
Yeah.
So we see that people can be brought in peacefully.
Yes, they can be brought in peacefully.
Even when they have weapons.
Even with weapons.
Even with the weapons.
Automatic weapons. We know that it can happen, police. Now,
yeah,
you messed up.
They messed up.
They messed up by bringing him in alive. Now you got to do that for us.
Yeah,
now,
please.
Can we get the same?
Please.
When we don't have any weapons.
Yeah.
When we're running away. This guy was taken care of. So that's what happened. I mean, you want to talk about this little manifesto. His little manifesto. This dude had it. It was for years. I mean, he was a little baby and
apparently nobody ever saw this.
Man, whatever.
I'm telling you, why wasn't any help brought to this young man?
Because I mean, people all the time talk about doing stuff like this, and most people just ignore it. Yeah, I mean, because they're just talking crazy. They're just talking crazy. Man, somebody needs to do something about that. Somebody should be shooting up. You wouldn't be saying that if we shot up your church or your school or your whatever. There was a church shooting the next day. I think an Asian, in the Asian community. But yeah, I mean people talk about online. I blame it on social media.
Well,
social media is.
We're gonna blame it on people.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, we got to blame it on
Social
people.
media is just the
that helps
means.
because people think that they can say anything and they can do anything now.
Yeah, but to put together a manifesto, I mean, what
Research.
he did, and just putting something on a chat, or responding to a post, that's something different. I mean,
Yeah,
So-
I mean, you have to understand that. Well, let's tell them about the manifesto for some people who don't know. So this guy is writing. He wants to eliminate black people
you don't like us.
because, because he believes the government is involved in some race replacement theory.
Yeah. we'll
So-
talk about that too.
So yeah, I mean, so that's why he needs to get rid of them, because he believes that white people are being eliminated somehow. So he's trying to get rid of these black people. Now this theory is actually a popular theory. It's been spread on
It's
Fox
now
News.
mainstream. It was at once. It was a fringe theory. It actually started in Europe in the 1900s, early 1900s, where more people from outside of Europe were coming, and I think it happened in particular in France. So, and it remains just a fringe movement, even in the United States, when of course people outside of the United States started moving in droves. So, but now it's mainstream because Tucker Carlson and people like that are talking about it.
That's what I was about to say. The Fox News. I mean, man, you can't even call them Fox News. I mean, because they are not
Fox,
news.
but-
But I mean, they're spreading this theory on mainstream television.
And they can just say it. They can do it.
Yeah, I mean,
But
so
it's free, it's free speech. That's,
It's free
that's
speech.
the world we live in.
It
Or
is
the country,
free speech,
or the
but-
country we live in. But it's dangerous.
usually that type of free speech would be regulated to the streets. I mean, you get a bullhorn and you're on the streets talking about it.
It's crazy.
Usually you don't get that mainstream attention, but the gun violence in America has been out of hand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
198 mass shootings.
Ma-
I think that
198.
article was like 2 weeks ago. So then, who knows what the count is now? I mean, it just goes on and on. So I don't know, but I mean, we talked about it. This is a violent country, and we like our violence, and we like our guns.
yeah. I mean, we definitely need to do something. I mean, somebody can just take a gun, drive across the country and start shooting people. I mean, it's happening too often. I mean,
So, hey, what if on every job, I mean, there's some mental health assessment on an annual basis.
we need to start
Schools.
with the mental health in the school
So
system.
just like people go to the doctor annually when your children are growing up, you grow up annually. You need to talk to a counselor, therapist annually, because if he's 18, I mean, you could have seen how this could have been growing over the years, and if he had seen a mental professional, it might be something completely different.
Yeah, I disagree. Homeboy. I disagree.
Tell me why. Tell me
Because I think you're talking about school shootings.
why. I'm talking about period.
No, listen.
Okay.
You're talking about the school shootings. The reason you can't say that in this case is because he's doing this because he hates black people. That's as old as this country. That's not mental. I mean, it is mental health,
It is mental
but
health.
it is mental health. But I mean, that's 400 years of mental health. You can't just overturn that with a
But
conversation with the therapist.
But you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. It is mental illness to say, just look at this. I don't like them because of their color. I mean, that's mental illness.
Yeah, that's ignorant.
That's
I mean,
mental illness.
That's crazy.
So
I mean, if you think about it, it's just crazy. But 400 years, 400 years ingrained. I mean, you're talking about we had to start somewhere. You had to start with the next generation because you're not going to change a racist.
no.
I mean, I know they have movies and little Hallmark. I don't know if you can say that name since he's from
not
Kansas
paying
City. But those movies where, they're a racist at the beginning. What was it, Monsters Ball? I mean, I think he was a racist at the beginning, and then at the end he wasn't a racist. I mean,
or at least not toward Holly Berry, he wasn't. He might have been a racist.
Yeah, he still might have been racist. I guess just Halle Berry was a little different. Well, he was nice to Mos Def after that. I only saw that movie once. I thought it was terrible. Okay. But anyway, yeah.
It got people awards, though.
Yeah,
but anyway.
That's my opinion.
Yeah,
but yeah,
story.
we're talking about people just picking up guns and murdering people all over this country.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So people have to have annual mental health checkups,
Definitely.
starting with the kids. You need to talk to somebody.
And what about the racists, though? What do we do with the racists?
Hey,
that's a different type of mental health.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's still, they need some mental help. And help. And this country as a whole, our structures, systems, the way things operate.
Well, yeah. Mental health for the mass shootings is a definite. But for this case specifically, we need, the government needs to declare these groups terrorists.
Mental health state. They have.
Which groups? The Ku Klux Klan? Are they terrorists?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure they are.
No,
but
they're not. No, they're not. They're not on the terrorist
they
list.
have to be on the terrorist list.
No, they're not.
Some of these racist.
No, they're not. There's no racist group on a terrorist list. Let's look it up, man.
Well, okay. Let me just say this. I was on a call with the FBI last week talking about after the shooting, and talking with people all over the country, and the FBI on this phone said that it is extremist nationalist groups that are the biggest threat in this country. That came from the FBI, so I don't know about a list. I know,
but they have a list.
I'm just saying what the FBI told us on a call last week. They are the biggest threat in the country, to this country. So, I mean, it's there. And people know that there's a need for it.
Okay, well, they have a Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act, but I don't think any of those organizations are on the list. I mean, what are they doing? I mean, it's not like
they're monitoring those groups.
Monitoring. It's not like they're hiding.
Yeah,
they're hiding. You know, I mean, yeah, America. If you have a Confederate flag, I think that you need to be investigated by the government. Yeah, you had to be on the terrorist list if you're
automatically.
Yeah, I mean that's
okay. Yes, they fought against
enemy
the
of the country. That's the enemy of the United States. The Confederate flag. Those are enemies of the United States.
So the FBI needs to be monitoring them to see if they're a threat or not. If they're not, then they're taken off. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't need another grocery store shooting, a church shooting. I mean, what about the church? Your church, is the security stepped up now because of this?
Yeah, we try to evolve and update it constantly, because I mean it's constant, and so we can't ever let our guard down. So yeah, we're always working on security. Plus, I got some security right here too.
Yeah, that type of security doesn't work. I mean,
years ago.
I mean, and you saw the video. You sent me the video of that white man beating that black lady. I mean, just punching her in her face, just because it was a minor dispute.
And then start calling her all. There's this video. I don't know if you all have seen it. I haven't. I don't know where it was from, but black.
It's starting to make. It's starting to make major rounds.
Okay.
Yeah, it's starting to pick up steam.
Where she's sitting there at a convenience store. She's trying to buy something. A white man behind her starts yelling and
about
calling
Spce.
her.
Yeah, she was saying he was too close to her.
Yeah. But he started saying, "You all don't belong in this country," and then started punching her. Now here, I don't know if you saw it. It looks like the dude coming up from the aisle was a black dude.
Yeah.
And so I'm asking, come on, black dude.
Yeah,
come on, black dude.
I thought he was about to help.
You don't let that happen, black dude?
Yeah, he just stood there, let that white man just punch that.
I don't know your name.
Punch that lady in the face repeatedly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing as this moron that shot up those people in Buffalo. I mean, it's the same thing. These racists are emboldened by the clown that was our president.
Yeah.
Now you got Herschel. You see Herschel Walker's in the, he's in that race. You know, is heating up. They were talking about it, talking about it this morning. You know, his chances and
he might become. Talking about Donnie might become probably the most evil president. Not probably. what am I trying to say? That he may have become the biggest threat in American history.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean he is leading,
Us
trying
to
to lead
war.
a civil war.
Yeah, he's been closer than anybody else. That's for sure.
And the people worship him.
Yeah, they worship him. I mean,
worship
you
that
can't,
dude.
man.
I mean, he is God incarnate to them.
Yeah, he is, and he's emboldened these racist groups, and hopefully, we won't hear any more anything like this again. But I don't know these.
Well, changes have to take place immediately, and so the government moves slow. So if you're talking about mental health, I don't even know how the federal government mandates it, but if it is taught or offered or in schools and then on jobs for someone to see some kind of counselor annually, that thing's got to start like now. We have to treat mental health the same way you would treat anything else. Just like you go for a regular checkup, but the biggest muscle you use is your brain. So it makes sense that you would get checked up.
That's the biggest muscle you have. Most people don't use that brain. It seems like stupidity. We've talked about it. Stupidity in this country is at an all-time high.
Pretty high. Idiocracy.
Yeah, we're talking about mental health issues to help with these mass shootings and things like that. We can't even mention gun control because that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. The NRA, they're not. Ain't nothing happening with the guns. You're still going to be able to buy any gun you want.
You don't think you're ever going to get anything through.
The NRA is too powerful.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get anything.
There's some powerful lobbyists in D.C.
Yeah.
Not just the NRA. Some powerful groups. That's a whole other story. Just to talk about, who's behind some of the stuff that we see and everything, legislation. But anyway, so racism, somebody's going to ask you, well, why do you all talk about racism every single week?
Well, because I live in America. What are you talking about? Where you been? Why do we talk about it every week?
It seems like you talk about it every week.
Well, it comes up every week. This week is, I think it's kind of obvious.
It does come up every week.
What happened in Buffalo, I think that's pretty big news. And, like one of the victims' family said, why does this keep happening to us? We've been good citizens. We didn't revolt. They didn't revolt after we were freed in 1865.
We had a lot of reasons to revolt.
brothers and sisters could have got together. Hey, man, did you like that slavery thing? Nah, I didn't like it. Well, let's
get them back.
Let's go do something. We didn't do none of that, man. We chilled out and just tried to be decent, law-abiding citizens. And
did revolt. Had plenty reasons to.
Yeah.
And still didn't. But and so it still happens.
Yeah.
But you talk about the great replacement theory, that minorities are going to replace whites, which is a silly theory. But I have several things to say. One, like I was saying to you, why do they fight being a minority so much in this country? It must be because they see how minorities are being treated. If minorities were treated fair, then they wouldn't be fighting and doing all these things to make sure they never enter the minority.
Yeah.
So, that the fact that they're fighting all of this shows proof that even they see minorities are mistreated. So that's the whole thing I'm thinking about this replacement theory. But I'm also thinking, are you serious? Let's look at the Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah.
I ain't been replaced.
Yeah,
Where are you being replaced?
Yeah.
Look at who owns the teams in the NHL. We can go down the list.
Who owns the stockyards? Who owns the shippings? Who owns the railroads? Who owns the steel? Who owns the airplanes? Who owns
the air? You know what I'm saying?
Who owns the technology business? There isn't every major business in America is headed by a white man.
I'll go further. Every industry in America.
So,
where's this replacement, man?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't see any replacement.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's a ridiculous theory. Ridiculous. But is there those who know the truth, stand up for the truth? You know what's right. We have to keep on pushing. It's been a long struggle. 1619, and we're still struggling. But
yeah.
We're in America.
So you got some more race topics, don't you?
Yeah. You just talk about this quick. It's just here for Lee Summit. There's a group that's a conservative group trying to start a chapter of Turning Point USA in one of the Lee Summit schools.
Lee Summit West.
Turning Point USA is a very conservative organization that's linked to several extremist groups, racist groups. So if you look on the watch list, so to speak, Turning Point is not on there, but they're linked to several groups.
How many kids want to be a part of this?
I don't know. Probably those who believe in the Great Replacement theory. I mean, if you're talking about Lee Summit West, this is a predominantly white, suburban high school, big school. They're the type, Lee Summit West, for those who are outside of the city, they're the type where you get the blind side folk. I'm telling you, you have these.
That's the blind side crowd.
That's the blind side. And that's why they're a powerhouse. So, but it's not just them. So let me not just say Lee Summit West. So it seems like in so many different levels we're seeing. I mean, it's nothing new. I'm redundant talking about racism.
Well, I mean, America. This is America.
It's redundant. This is America.
We have to keep talking about it. I mean, somebody has to stand up for it.
Yeah, and just making sure that we always are able to spot it, because some folk are blind and they don't see it or they deny it. Black and white, they don't see what all this fuss is about. I mean, that's the what's the group? TRC group.
Yeah. It was a CTR.
CTR, the CTR group. Those are that's the name that we gave for the black white supremacists.
Yeah, the black white supremacists, because
black haters.
And we came, and once again, I doubt it may have been episode 9 or 8.
I don't know.
CTR. So Herschel Walker, black white supremacist, is running for office in Georgia. And he was trying to think of the
critical race theory.
Yeah, the critical race theory. So instead of saying critical race theory, he said CTR. So we just said, okay, well, that's the group. The CTR Raccoons is the name of the black white supremacists. Herschel Walker is one of them. And I know some of you probably is like, Herschel Walker, the football player? How y'all going to talk about him? Yeah, go look him up. Go look him up.
It ain't hard. It shouldn't be a surprise.
Go look him up.
To most folk. So, like I said, the struggle continues. We'll keep on pressing on. But what interests me, so listen, I don't know if you watch it. I watch those ancient alien shows like on National Geographic and those documentaries. So all these.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, it's lots of them.
Yeah,
lots
I know.
of them. So they're foaming at the mouth right now. They're putting out new stuff, new content.
I'm sure they're working on
right
something
now, because Congress held a hearing on unidentified flying objects,
UFOs,
for the first time in more than half a century.
So if you think you saw one, maybe you did.
Basically, they're saying they've seen things, and I saw somewhere like 400 that the military could not identify, did not know what it is. So all those alien theorists that are out there, they're foaming, they're putting out stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole bunch of new shows, I guarantee you.
They're saying, we told you so. This is true. We've been telling you all for years. Now, needless to say, it doesn't necessarily prove that there are extraterrestrial beings. But for me, I think we would be naive to think that we're the only living things in the universe.
Yeah, I think most intelligent people can agree that there is something out there. You know, we don't know what. They may not look like E.T., but there's something out there. But yeah, I guess they went ahead and pretty much admitted it. We don't know everything, but you know, we already knew that. So we had to get ready for all these new TV shows and new science fiction movies and all this because it's coming. It's coming.
Absolutely. It's here. So, like I said, I watch all those things. I've been watching them for years, so I can't wait for all this new stuff. I'm talking about the movies are good, but I'm talking about the documentaries that they'll make on it.
Documentary style shows. I know. Yeah, Ancient Alien. They show it on the Travel Channel for some reason.
Yeah, the Travel Channel has some good stuff.
The Travel Channel. I don't even know why they call it the Travel Channel. I mean, all they do is ghost hunters and
Terror in the Woods.
Yeah, I
watch that all the time.
Yeah, I watch that
Terror in the Woods.
Terror in the Woods. I watch that.
That's
I watch that.
But it has nothing to do with travel. Just like if you go to the History Channel, they'd have a show on pawning. I'm like, I want to see some history, not no pawn show.
Yeah, maybe we need to start a new channel.
Yeah. All right, it's coming.
Travel and history.
Yeah. So in recognition of the government admitting that they have seen unidentified flying objects, we thought we'd do our top 5 space movies. And I know that's a broad stroke. I think I went first last time, so you go first this time. But it's a broad stroke, so you can take it in whatever direction you want.
Yeah, so it's a lot of movies to choose from.
Yes.
But number 5, I guess you could consider it a space movie. I'm going to consider one. It's Independence Day. Will Smith, you know, the most hated man in Hollywood. Jeff Goldblum. You know, aliens come to America and we have to fight them off. You know, which may be happening soon. We had to get ready. Donald Trump talked about that Space Force. We need to get it ready because the aliens are coming. So Independence Day is my number 5 movie of all time. Number 4 is Star Wars.
Which one? Okay.
The very first Star Wars.
A New Hope. That's what it's called.
When Luke Skywalker and his aunt and uncle are murdered.
It's called A New Hope.
Okay,
yes.
So because I don't watch those Star Wars movies anymore. After I watched what was the one with the little kid driving?
Anakin, the first one.
Yeah,
that was like episode
whatever
1.
it was.
That was episode 1.
So the little kid, that movie
Anakin.
I really hated that.
So
I hate that movie.
you know somebody's godbrother if he sees this episode, it's blasphemy to talk about Star Wars. You know how big how big he is in his Star Wars.
Okay, so and then the next one with he was a little teenage brat.
Yeah,
okay. So after that, I stopped messing with Star Wars. I'm like, man,
so
this
you
is
like the first 3, but you're actually
the first 3.
Actually, the last 3.
Okay, so the last 3 are the ones I like. So number 4 is Star Wars. Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader. You know what I mean? They just doing their thing,
just
man.
The basic thing.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, just the basic Star Wars. I mean,
all right.
You know, all this new stuff I don't even know about. So, and then number 3 is one of my favorites, but it's also a sad movie.
Oh, man.
Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Damn, man. If you know what I'm talking about, Spock. Damn.
They got him.
They got Spock on this one. Don't worry, he came back to life later on.
Come on. It's space. They can do whatever they want.
But in this one, he died. Ricardo Montalban, Fantasy Island. If you watch the TV show, he was on the TV show.
Did you see the movie they made of it recently? About Fantasy Island? No, Fantasy Island.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
Okay,
that was terrible. It was completely different. I mean, they blackmailed the dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
Ricardo Montalban, Wrath of Khan, one of the all-time great movies to me. I mean, it was a lot of action. A lot of action, man. You know, that was a good movie. So number 2, I'm going to have to go with Aliens. I'll go with
Which one?
I'm going to have to go with the franchise. I'll go with the first 3 or whatever. So the Alien movies, they were
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver. First, she's probably one of the first real. Well, no, Jane Fonda was, I think, back in
First female hero.
Yeah. But she was one of the.
Up there.
She was one of the first. I mean, she looked like she at least was strong. So, you
like
know,
she could do.
Yeah, because
what
you know,
they had her doing.
Superheroes and tough guys in the movies in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s had no muscle tone whatsoever. I mean, Superman's bad. None of them. They had no muscle tone whatsoever.
They were considered. They looked fit.
You just pull your pants up to past your navel and like, yeah, let's
they
go.
did do that. That was a style, man. If you came up on the scene with your pants below your navel, they think you crazy.
Well,
where's this dude from?
Well, anyway, so Alien franchise number one, I got to go back with the Star Wars one. It's Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back is probably my number one space movie because that's when Luke really learned the Force. He went to Yoda, and where he really learned how to use it. Yoda was kicking that knowledge to him. Then he went, and, you know, it was a good one. They captured Han Solo, man. That was the first, and then you had Billy D. Williams stepping on the scene in Empire Strikes Back.
Finally, they had somebody black in
man
space. He got up there.
He was the first
he was the only one.
African American in space.
Billy D.
He
opened the door.
So yeah, he opened the door for other black people to go to space. So yeah,
everybody.
He was there. I mean, it was a good movie.
Rosa Parks.
Yeah, he's the Rosa Parks of
space
movies.
No, probably Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
So, all right, so that was good.
Empire Strikes Back, number one.
So my number 5, it was between the Star Wars movies, and I went back and forth with A New Hope, which is the first one that ever came out, Empire Strikes Back. It was those two. I was going back and forth, but I also had to put on there Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And I know those were the ones that Revenge of the Sith.
What is that, man?
That was the dark side of the Force.
What happened?
The Sith Lord.
I don't know what no Sith is.
I know because they didn't mention it.
Man,
like that.
Yeah, okay.
But Darth Vader was a Sith.
It at the end.
Listen, Darth Vader was a Sith.
Okay.
He was a Sith.
Okay.
He was.
So they talking about Darth Vader.
The Emperor was the Sith Lord.
Okay.
All right. So. But Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, this is the one. The reason I said this is number 5 over the others is simply because that's how we found out how Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader. So you talking
about the one with the teenage brat, where he was a little teenage brat?
No, it was
where he was crying all movie. That was the last Star Wars I've seen. That was a long time ago.
That was probably the episode that came before Revenge of the Sith. So I think you're talking about Episode 2.
Yeah, because it had the one was the kid, which was terrible. Then it had the teenager, which was terrible. I stopped watching after that.
Yeah, I'm with you. And probably A New Hope is probably better than this. But the reason I put it on there is because we found out how Darth Vader came to be. And ever since we found out that Darth Vader, we found out from Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope that he was once on the good side of the Force. Ever since then, I was like, okay, well, I want to know what happened. So this is why I put up there. Number 4, this 1997 movie, Contact, with Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And the reason I like this is because it talks about faith and belief. And do you or can you still believe in something that you don't have proof of? It was a deep movie. I really appreciated that. Talk about faith and belief and proof. And do you need proof? Yeah. Anyway, do you?
Sometimes. I don't know.
So number 3 it's a space horror movie, Apollo, which I like. It's Apollo 18, came out in 2011. No real big names in it, but it was the last space mission to the moon, and there was a reason why, and of course they never showed the footage. So it's a horror. It's not a horror movie, but they might call it space horror or something.
For real, I don't think I've seen that movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Apollo 18.
Apollo 18. So the other one is similar. It's Life with Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds.
Never seen
and
that.
They're on a spaceship and they encounter a life force.
Is this the 2 of them?
No, it's more than them, but those are the big names.
I did see that. I did see that.
Yeah. So, but I
Ryan
like
Reynolds they kill him off pretty early.
But you just told.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. If people
fault.
haven't seen it,
No, he's
cool.
a big star.
He's cool.
They not gonna kill him off.
He can't do it. So, but I like those
horror movies.
I like those kind of
that
movies.
was straight up horror movie.
That one was?
Yeah, I would say
that's horror.
Life?
No, I don't call those horror. See, I wouldn't call like Friday the 13th, Freddy. Those aren't horror movies to me. That's scary. What I call horror are things like Sinister or The Nun, and I'm talking about demonic things. That's what I call horror.
Man, whatever.
I'm just
this is a scary or a horror movie. The life is.
Man.
Yeah, it is, man.
Okay, fine. So what is Alien?
It is too.
Right,
it's a horror movie.
Space horror
right.
is what I said. Okay.
So
my number one, I'm Alien franchise all day. I've seen all of them. Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection. Then they started with the prequels, Prometheus, Alien Covenant.
See, I didn't get Prometheus.
You didn't get it?
I didn't get it because when I first went to see it, I had no idea it was the prequel to Aliens. And then I found that out. So it was couple years that I had watched Prometheus, and I was like, man, that's just a movie I don't get. Yeah. And then I read somewhere, it's the prequel to Aliens. So then I went back and watched it again. But yeah, originally I didn't. Man, I'm like, dang, this.
Yeah, if you didn't know, if you hadn't seen it, it wouldn't make much sense because you're like, what's going on? Yeah, so that's what I have number one. Alien, my favorite, that franchise, favorite space movies. Let us know what you think. I was going to put a funny one on there, Spaceballs.
Yes, I was too. I was this close for putting Spaceballs on there. So we're going to put Spaceballs as honorable mention.
That's a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah, it was a funny
making fun
movie.
of Star Wars, basically.
Yeah, good movie.
So, but let us know what you think. Every single Tuesday, we put out a new episode. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chopping It Up with the Cleavers. By the way,
yes,
we've been nominated for Best Podcast in Kansas City by
Kansas City Magazine, KC Magazine. So go to KC Magazine. We'll put the link in the bio in the description. Go to KC Magazine. Vote for Chopping It Up with the Cleavers as Best Local Podcast.
Best Local Podcast.
Till next time.
Peace out.
Peace.
I'm of the models.